There's not the same amount of money going around, so we noticed people were paying less at the bar, they were coming in later in the evening simply because probably they were doing their own get-togethers with their friends and having a couple of drinks before they turn up. But in general, I think there's a lot of margin still for recovery. We still haven't recovered from COVID, and I think this is going to take another year or two at least.
I think also there's a lot going on in Spain right now, which has come back too strong. There's like an event every weekend in Nagota as well. But I think in terms of Gibraltar, I think it went quite well for us. The response has been very good, the feedback.
People do enjoy the nights out in Gibraltar, but you are, as you say, competing with a huge industry in Spain. So how do you do that? How do you make people want to come to your party in Gibraltar?
Well, it's one of those things that is really hard, no? Because unfortunately sometimes you compete with promoters that, for instance, they have a bigger budget than you, so you can only do so much from where we come from and they can do so much from where they are. I think people come to our events simply because the event from 2019 to today, it's built up its own reputation. People enjoy the event, people like going to the Que Pasa festival, and I think we've got that loyalty of attendance, to say the least. But we noticed at least 300 or 400 people didn't turn up. The older generation, maybe they don't go to the Que Pasa and they go to Marbella for the weekend and enjoy the night there and have the night in Opium.
And when you need to compete against nights out in Opium and festivals in Spain where they have a much larger budget, how do you find that balance between bringing international acts while also supporting local talent, making sure that they get a voice?
It's hard because the big acts are kind of loyal to the scene in Spain, you could say, because they get more gigs there and they get more consistency in playing, whereas we are just once a year. So when we do our lineups, we need to get big lineups and we need to get big names to attract these people to come. But it's also, like you say, finding the balance between the locals, because we want to give them an opportunity as well.
We have one of the biggest problems that we cannot book a DJ a year in advance. We get the venues, say, April, March, so we have 3 months to look for artists. Most of the festivals happening in Spain, they start now for 2023. So prices, just so that you know, for example, if I book a DJ today that is worth 40,000 euros, I'll pay 40,000 euros, but if I book in 3 months before, I have to pay 60,000 euros.
Do you feel that this is something that could be done better in Gibraltar? Are there logistical issues that you're facing that you think might be ironed out, might be helped with?
I think Gibraltar is not prepared logistically for many things, not only our side. No, there's problems logistically. We are a small place and we are very limited in what we can do. But there's many grey areas in the event industry at the moment which need to be looked at so that we can better your experience and improve our events. So it's a better thing for everyone in general.
The few of us that do the events, the big scale events, I think we put up with a lot of things that around the world you don't have to put up with. And it's kind of like we receive feedback from the DJs internationally and they say the organization, very professional, everything was very well handled, we came in, someone was waiting for us, the feedback. They've even told us this weekend, they said we got treated better here than in some clubs in Ibiza, which is kind of huge feedback.